the ages on Sunday. Uno, dos, tres home runs, and that third one was a walk-off in the bottom of the ninth to beat Cleveland. Rosario's been hitting .378 since the start of May. This homestand is off to a good start for the Twins. They took 3 of 4 from Cleveland in that weekend series, and today they'll play the first and second games of a 4-game series against the White Sox. And the Twins-White Sox series on Fox Sports North is presented by North Dakota Tourism. Summer is short, fun is closer. Visit us at NorthDakotaLegendary.com. Good afternoon from a beautiful day here at Target Field. I'm Marnie Gellner. Paul Molitor said that he really hopes the Twins can carry the momentum that they built over the weekend into this series here against the White Sox. And he also said the team needs to be ready from pitch number 1 because it is very important to win the first game of a doubleheader and set the tone for the entire day. Here's the series setup. The teams are playing today because of a historic blizzard in April that wiped out all 3 games of this series, and they still have the other 3 to make up. Well, it'll be 2 after this one today. The Twins' bats have broken out, though, especially in the last 5 games. The Twins put 37 runs across the plate in those 5, and they haven't scored fewer than 7 runs in any game in this last 5-game stretch. They'll try to capitalize on a team that's been struggling. The White Sox have the 2nd worst record in baseball at 18-36. Chicago's last 22 of its last 32 games. Coming up, it's been quite a stretch at the plate. Everything has been coming up roses. A look at the incredible Eddie and how he's been rolling after this.
Strikeout against a veteran hitter. Got him. Wow.
He continues to prove it.
really good innings for Fernando Romero.
Today, a new 4-game series starts, and 2 promising right-handers will start this series. Ronaldo Lopez going for Chicago, and Fernando Romero going for the Minnesota Twins. It is a gorgeous day for baseball here at Target Field. Dick Bramer along with Bert Blyleven for a conventional doubleheader.
Yes.
First start of the month of June for Fernando Romero, and he's been looking forward to this ever since his last start of May.
Yeah, you know what? You go out to the mound enough, you're going to have some hiccups. Well, he had an ugly hiccup in Kansas City. He just could not get anything going. In an inning and 2/3, he ended up throwing 52 pitches, gave up 9 hits to the Royals, and that's going to happen to every starter, no matter if you're a Hall of Famer or you're just making your 6th major league start like he did. So it's important. How's he going to do this afternoon?
As Marnie said earlier, the Twins have scored 7, 8 runs every game except 1 for the last week or so. And the guy in the middle of the lineup, actually he's more towards the top of the lineup, Eddie Rosario, is the main reason why.
I tell you what, he is on fire. Of course, here on Sunday, 3 home runs. He's the first Minnesota Twin ever to hit 2 games where he hit 3 home runs. So in front of his family, who's going to be traveling with us the rest of the year, by the way. Eddie Rosario is one hot Twin right now.
Earlier this year, the Twins had a 5-game road winning streak, and today with this doubleheader, they have a chance to build a 5-game home winning streak.
In a row. A team meeting seems to have done the trick, and the Twins are back to doing things their way.
If we want it, we go and get it.
I don't think the weather could be any better than it is today. I know it couldn't have been any worse when the Twins and White Sox were supposed to play here in the middle of April. Rick Renteria hoping his team can rebound after a difficult first couple of months. Take a quick look at the Chicago batting order. with Yoan Moncada, Yolmer Sanchez, Jose Abreu, and the rest of them. Palka, Anderson, Narvaez, Engel, Tilson, and Thompson.
And that lineup facing Fernando Romero, making just his 7th major league start. Now he's never faced the Chicago White Sox.
Hit pretty well to center, and Lamar going back, and he's going to run out of room off the base of the batter's eye, and Moncada hits his 8th home run of the year. And the early inning difficulties that Romero experienced in Kansas City have carried over here today.
Well, fastball up right there, so you got to get the ball down. That's Romero's best pitch. Keep it down in the zone and working that slider and changeup. Moncada jumping on that high fastball. You see Wilson wanting it down, but right about thigh high, belt high, straightaway center. And a quick 1-0 lead for the White Sox.
That'll bring up Yolmer Sanchez. Sanchez chases that high fastball, but comes up empty. Moncada a switch hitter, Sanchez a switch hitter. And the White Sox aren't very good right now, but they hope that they will be good soon. And those two players, Moncada and Sanchez, will be a big part of the recovery on the south side of Chicago.
Yeah, Sanchez right now tonight or today playing third base. He can play all 3 infield positions.
And again chasing the high fastball, and it's 1-2.
Moncada just 22 years old. Sanchez already 25 years old in his 5th season with the White Sox. Kind of came up as a utility player, but last year his first full season hit .267, hit 12 home runs. Getting a chance to play every day this year.
Romero trying to recover from his poorest start of his young major league career, where his ERA more than doubled. On the ground, hit right to Dozier. And 1 away.
Well, today's starting pitcher stats are brought to you by Home Furniture. And that's Fernando Romero making his 7th major league start. Walks to strikeouts are good. He has worked a total of now 30 2/3 innings at the major league level.
Here is Jose Abreu, and a high strike is called on an off-speed pitch. 0-1. I asked Paul Molitor today about the decision to start Romero in game 1, Zach Littell making his major league debut tonight in game 2, and he said, you know, he wanted to put forth his best effort to win game 1. You like to approach doubleheaders in the hopes of winning 2, but you got to win that first one to have a sweep of a doubleheader. And then I think we both chuckled at the same time. You have the veteran Fernando Romero going in game 1 in the hopes of pitching himself and his team to a win, and then Littell will make his debut tonight in game 2.
I think what you want is the veteran pitcher in this case, like you're talking about Romero, but you have a routine as a starter. And Zach Littell, he's going to be nervous here. Good slider right there, and Romero picks up a strikeout.
2 down, and that'll bring up Daniel Palka. Here's the Twins defensive alignment. Grossman in left, Lamar in center, Kepler in right. Rosario's in the lineup as the DH. Escobar, Adrianza, Dozier, and Sano the infielders, and Bobby Wilson catching the opener. Palka's really been swinging the bat well for the White Sox. Of course, he was property of the Minnesota Twins. Scalded to right field. And Kepler will play the carom, and Palka will spin his wheels, try for second, and the throw is offline by Kepler. It's a double for Palka.
Yeah, Palka getting a lot of extra base hits for the White Sox. That is his 6th double. He has 3 triples and 6 home runs. Right there, fastball. See the high leg kick for timing. Palka hitting that ball sharply into right field.
Kind of spun his wheels a little bit there. Gosh, a little bit of a misstep, but he still was able to gain second, and that'll bring up Tim Anderson. The White Sox trying to tee off on Romero's fastball, and that's what happened in Kansas City last week. There's a swing and a miss at the fastball. Romero gave up 8 earned runs in an inning and 2/3, 9 hits and a walk, and he only got 5 outs. And the Royals really teed off on what had prior to that been a really effective fastball. Zipped inside. 1-1.
Well, the key to Romero is the fastball, but you got to keep it down and away. You need to keep it away from the heart of the plate. That sets up his slider and his changeup. So Wilson sitting down and away. So if you miss away.
Breaking ball.
Slider there. You're going to give up hits up here. You're going to have outings like he did last time out, but it's how you respond. That's the key.
One and two. High fly. Medium deep center field. Lamar camps under it. And the inning ends. A couple of extra base hits, including a leadoff home run for Yoan Moncada, and it's 1-0. A leadoff home run, but it's just a 1-0 ball game. Run scoring has not been a problem for the Twins as of late, and here's how they look today in the series opener. Brian Dozier leading off, then Eddie Rosario, Miguel Sano, Eduardo Escobar, Max Kepler, Robbie Grossman, Ryan Lamar, A-Ray Adrianza, and Bobby Wilson.
Let's take a look at today's starting pitcher stats, brought to you by Home Furniture. Ronaldo Lopez making his 12th start of the year, second against the Twins. He faced the Twins in Chicago back on May 3rd. No decision in the White Sox 6-5 win over the Twins.
Twins are playing a game that was postponed back in April. They had 3 straight postponements, and if you haven't guessed by now, the game we're playing today is actually the Sunday game, the 3rd game that was postponed, which was Jackie Robinson Day. And because of that, all the players are wearing number 42. 1 strike to Brian Dozier. And this one down the right field line on a long run for Thompson. But he gets there, playing Dozier in the gap in right center. He's able to make the play, 1 away.
Well, the Twins come into this ball game red hot. Over the last 5 ball games, 11 home runs they've hit and 35 runs.
Young outfield, Thompson in right, Engel in center, Tilson in left. And then an infield of Sanchez, Anderson, Moncada, and Abreu. Omar Narvaez will do the catching in the opener. 1 down, and here is Eddie Rosario. His .317 batting average is 8th in the American League. And it has been on a steady, steep incline over the last few years, or over the last few weeks. There's a fly to left and caught in left field by Tilson. Rosario's gone on 1 pitch.
Yeah, kind of a basket catch right there. The ball hit high enough, but Tilson was playing back pretty deep and ended up making a basket catch for the 2nd out. So 3 pitches for Lopez and 2 outs.
And here is Miguel Sano. Twins are waiting for Sano to take off on a tear similar to what Rosario has already done. And he takes a strike. 0-1. Sano showing some signs of having a click for him, but the batting average still just .212. And he takes 2 strikes. And Miguel has continued to be very susceptible to a breaking ball with 2 strikes. And a fastball just up. 1-2.
Yeah, Lopez has a good fastball. He's just 24 years old. In this 2 games, we're going to see some youngsters going about their business out on that mound.
Both Lopez and tonight's starter Lucas Giolito came from the Nationals in the Adam Engel trade. So I don't know what they would have done without that trade in this doubleheader. Their 2 starting pitchers both were acquired in 1 trade. 1-2 to Sano. Did I say Adam Engel? I meant Adam Eaton. Yeah. Adam Engel's still playing for him. 2-2. And now 3-2 with Escobar on deck.
Yeah, we've seen the fastball, that last pitch, the hard breaking ball, and then he mixes in a changeup. Lopez does. 6'1", 200-pounder.
And Sano takes a walk after falling behind 0-2. That in and of itself is an encouraging sign. So many times we've seen Miguel, sometimes on a check swing, strike himself out. Eduardo Escobar this year has already had a good season series against Chicago.
Well, he came up and signed with the Chicago White Sox back in 2006 out of Venezuela. Played a couple of years for the White Sox before coming over to the Twins in 2012. So you always want to have that little extra energy and success against an organization that you originally played for.
And fouled over the Chicago dugout. 1 strike.
Escobar now in his 7th season with the Twins. Coming off a career year last year, 21 home runs, drove in 73 and hit .254.
You know, his presence on the roster helped the Twins fill the void with Jorge Polanco's suspension. And then for a while his ability to play third base allowed the Twins to at least manage things while Sano was out. And now his ability to do all that has allowed the Twins to withstand the loss of Joe Mauer. You look at today's lineup and Sano's playing at first base, and so Escobar, you know, slides over to third base, and we'll probably see him, I would guess, at short in the nightcap.
Yeah, you know, when Escobar joined the White Sox back in 2011, he was a September call-up and kind of known as a utility type player, could play anywhere. I think the Twins have seen now you could put him anywhere and he's going to do great. He has not committed an error yet this year at either third or short.
1-2 now to Escobar. Foul back. Boy, Lopez had a chance. He got 2 outs on 3 pitches, got ahead of Sano 0-2. He had a chance to have a 6-pitch first inning. Well, now he's still looking for the 3rd out, and this will be his 16th pitch. So whatever else it might do, Sano's walk has allowed the Twins to get an extra look here at Lopez. 1-2. Lined into the net.
Well, like a lot of youngsters, Lopez walks an average of about 4 hitters per 9 innings. And in his young career, it's covered only 155 innings. He's averaged just over 6 strikeouts per 9. Pretty straight fastball, but very explosive type fastball with the hard breaking ball.
Driven deep but foul down the right field line.
Yeah, breaking ball stayed up a little bit, and Escobar out front. Well, Lopez coming off his shortest start in his last start in Cleveland, where he worked 2 2/3 innings and gave up 7 earned runs and a loss to the Indians.
And eventually a fastball at 98 strikes Escobar out. 1-0 Chicago after 1.
Our scoop from the clubhouse. Paul Molitor and the Twins said that Ervin Santana got some good news today in a visit with his doctor. The doctor was pleased with the progress that Ervin made, and he could start throwing later this week. That's the plan right now for Ervin. And Molitor talked about the decision to go Romero game 1, Littell game 2, and as Dick mentioned, because of setting the tone for the day, Molitor said we'll try to come out of the gates and have a good first ball game. And even though these are both young pitchers, Molitor says 8 big league starts is still more than 0. So that's why Romero is pitching game number 1. And Zach Littell will be the 26th man when he pitches in game number 2. And that's because of the DH with that 26-man rule. Molitor said that'll take some of the pressure off. And he knows he's supposed to pitch this game tonight, pitch well, then he'll return to Rochester. Nothing more than that to focus on in his big league debut tonight, guys.
Yeah, Marnie, thank you, and pick up his first major league win. Let's hope.
Fly to left, and Grossman makes the catch. I asked you this before, and I've asked you this many times. We just haven't had many. We've had split doubleheaders, pretty commonplace, but nothing like this. When you had the option, if it was given to you later in your career, did you have a preference pitching the early game or the late game?
There was never an option. I pitched game 1. That's
is that right?
I wanted to do. Yeah, I wanted to pitch game 1 because you have a routine that you go into with a 30-minute break. You know, sometimes as a starting pitcher, you don't know when to start warming up and get ready for the ball game. But when you're in game 1, you know how much coffee you need to drink before you go out there.
And this was when all the doubleheaders were like today's doubleheader, back to back. Well, I've known you
I wouldn't say at the beginning of my career, but as you get established, yes, I wanted game 1.
I've gotten to know you over the years as your broadcast partner. The viewers have gotten to know you as a television commentator. And I think we all are in agreement that sometimes with too much time on your hands, you can be dangerous.
Get in trouble.
And so I know that, pitching the first game would allow you then to do whatever you wanted in the second game, and I don't know that that's a good thing.
Wow, that's why I got here at 6 a.m. this morning.
Liner to left, and a 1-out single for Adam Engel. And that'll bring up Charlie Tilson.
Let's take a look at our Pizza Ranch for the win, and no secret, it's up to how will Romero respond to the poor outing he had. And so far he's given up 3 hits, but you know what? Only 1 run. So let's see if we can get a double play right here.
What we've seen here through 7 at-bats is kind of what happened in Kansas City. He had the leadoff walk, and then everything just very quickly was spiraling out of control for him. He had 15 batters faced Romero did, and he threw a total of 52 pitches. That's, you know, I mean, there were a lot of first pitch hits, and the Royals just almost made it like batting practice.
Well, I think we saw that a little bit from the White Sox in the first inning too. They're swinging. They're ready to hit. Anderson swung at the first pitch. You know, you're looking dead red. So that's not a bad thing if you could hit your spots. Now Wilson moves inside, throw over Engel at first base. Good speed, and the White Sox like to run. 50 stolen bases for the White Sox on the year in 61 tries.
And leads the major leagues. And so they've got some power in the lineup. They have some speed in the lineup.
Yeah, Engel's got a good lead at first. And another throw over. Yeah, Engel 8 stolen bases in 10 attempts.
Rick Renteria's, despite the 1-loss record, done a nice job encouraging people. Look, go for it. Be aggressive. Kind of the same thing Ron Gardenhire's done in Detroit. Not much is expected of the team.
Take that chance.
Why not? Popped up, and Escobar runs out of room. Tilson, a prospect. White Sox are hoping he can stay healthy and gain some consideration for being a fixture down the road.
Tilson just 25 years old, second season with the White Sox. Came up in August of last year. Came over from the St. Louis Cardinal organization for Zach Duke back in July of 2016.
Heard of him.
There's Zach Duke out in that bullpen. Tilson started this year down in AAA, got called up about 10 days ago.
And a pitch out, but Wilson doesn't hang on to it. And the runner will advance. I was just talking with Paul Molitor about that 2 days ago, I guess. I said, you know, talking about how the game has changed and how you hardly ever see pitch outs. And he said now 3.5 years he's called maybe 5 of those.
Well, you can see where that ball was. That was out of the batter's box and where right-handers stand. So we'll see where they give it a wild pitch. Yeah, it should be.
Romero uncorks a wild pitch on a pitch out, and another one sails outside. It's 3-1.
For Romero, that's his 5th wild pitch already, and this just being his 7th major league start.
Within his answer, Paul said, well, you know, we do have kind of a disguised pitch out. It's not like the one we just saw, but the pitch is intended to be outside, giving the catcher a really clean shot at receiving the pitch. But you hardly ever see anybody attempt what the Twins just attempted to do, because the research has shown that the count dictates so much of an at-bat success.
Well, I think we saw the lead that Engel had too. I mean,
right.
It looked like he was ready to take off. So
3-2 to Tilson. Chopped up the middle, and Adrianza fires across, and Engel moves up another base. That'll bring up Trace Thompson. Thompson hit a walk-off home run against the Twins on a Thursday night in Chicago. That woke the Twins up, or something did, because then they went off to win their next 5 games on the road. And of course, Thompson's walk-off hit, one of the 8 the Twins have surrendered.
yeah, Thompson started the season with the Oakland A's, got traded over in the middle part of April.
Down the middle of strike.
Originally signed by the White Sox, came up with the White Sox back in 2015. And traded over to the Dodgers, and then this year with the A's, and back to the club that signed him.
Yeah,
I think with the draft going on too, we should probably say how some of these guys were drafted, like Thompson, 2nd round draft pick for the White Sox back in 2009 out of Santa Margarita Catholic High School in Rancho Santa Margarita out in California.
Well, how many names are in the town here? I mean, what's the name of the high school?
Santa Margarita Catholic High School.
Okay, and what's the name of the town?
Santa Margarita, California. Actually, it's kind of a sister to Mater Dei High School, which is in Southern California, where my kids went.
Up and in, 1-2.
Kind of a private school.
Okay.
So a lot of the athletes that can afford going to a private school go to Santa Margarita or Mater Dei in Southern California. Good sports programs.
Romero trying to strand Engel at third base. That'll work.
Good pitch.
96 down and away. Engel with a 1-out single, ended up at third, but he stays there, and it's still 1-0. Two and a half hours between games. And it'll be Max Kepler leading off the second. He'll be followed by Robbie Grossman and then Ryan Lamar facing Ronaldo Lopez. Both Lopez and Romero have given their teams glimpses of what they hope will be a common occurrence down the road. Glimpses, flashes of excellence. Kepler with a liner. Oh, picked off beautifully by Sanchez, a rocket. And how did he get down, his glove down in time to make the play? One away.
Kind of a reaction right there. My goodness, Sanchez, who was playing in on the grass, to maybe taking a bunt away. But Kepler hit this ball right on the button, and Sanchez just leans to his left very quickly. You see where he's playing, and just kind of sticks a glove out and falls to his left and comes up with it.
See, it helped that he started that play with his glove down low and just kind of moved it laterally. Here is Grossman. Anyway, Lopez has had 3 of his last 4 starts have been really good, where he's given up 2 runs or less. Just hasn't been given much run support. Tapped up the line. That's a fair ball.
And a good changeup right there by Lopez, maybe the first of the ball game.
And Abreu makes the play. 2 quick outs again here in the second.
Yeah, Lopez out of the Dominican Republic, signed with the Nationals in 2012. Of course, players out of the Dominican Republic, Venezuela are not part of the draft, so they are signed around the same time, but they have to be 16 years old or older.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I think that's confusing for a lot of baseball fans. Players out of Puerto Rico are eligible, subject to whichever you prefer, to the draft. That's how the Twins got Barrios and Rosario. But from the Dominican Republic or Venezuela or Mexico, that's a different story. That's because Puerto Rico is a commonwealth of the United States.
See a lot of players from Australia now.
Right.
Same thing as the Dominican Republic and Venezuela.
2-0 to Ryan Lamar. Done a nice job substituting for Byron Buxton, and now Lopez is in danger of doing exactly what he did in the first inning. Got a couple of quick outs. He ended up walking the third batter.
Yeah, Lamar had his first career 3-hit game here on Sunday.
And he takes 4 up. And we'll see what the Twins do, if anything, with Lamar's speed at first.
Yeah, he also stole his first base on Major League. The stolen base on Sunday. 1 for 2 in that department.
Twins haven't done much base stealing. They have excelled for the most part in base running. See what Adrianza can do and where Lamar hopes to be when he does it. Not on the first pitch. Adrianza takes a strike.
Lopez has that high leg kick. There's been 3 stolen bases against Lopez in his first 11 starts in 4 tries.
Lamar still with a shorter lead. And he got, oh, they picked him off. Thought he might have gotten back, but Abreu's tagged. And Paul Molitor's barking that there should have been a balk call.
I think he jumped right there, and I don't believe that's part of the the rule. Lamar was going to take off.
Yeah, he was tagged out.
Tagged out before he got to the bag.
And I think if we replay the pitcher's angle, we'll see what Paul Molitor was complaining about. So a pickoff ends the bottom of the second. There was movement before.
Look at the left knee right there. You see him start to move up like he's going to bring his leg up, and then he spun around. That's definitely a balk, and Paul Molitor and the Twins absolutely right. I can't believe that none of the umpires saw that.
And now up and in, down and away. It's 2-0 to Yoan Moncada, homer to center to start the ball game. And most fans know this. You can't argue the existence of a balk or the defense of a balk. It's like arguing balls and strikes. Paul said his piece from the dugout, but he couldn't come out and more directly challenge Brian O'Nora, the home plate umpire. There's a strike, 3-1.
I mentioned in the first inning, Moncada, only 22 years old, out of the Boston Red Sox organization out of Cuba. Came up with the Red Sox in 2016. He came over in a Chris Sale trade.
Hit well again to center. Lamar to the wall, makes the catch right in front of the fence. You know, the one thing that Lamar does really well is he takes good angles on the ball. and seems very aware of the warning track. And he's made a number of really good running catches, one away.
Even like that one right there, he kind of knew exactly where that ball was headed and took off. He didn't come in, he didn't go back, he went straight toward where he thought that ball was hit and made a nice catch against the wall.
One down, and now Sanchez.
Center fielders, you see the jump right there by Lamar, and you see him taking off right where the ball is. Of course, you see Kepler backing up the play in case that ball is hit off the wall.
Down and in, and it's 1-1. Sanchez hit a ground ball to Dozier his first time up. Up and away.
Sanchez, a switch hitter, hitting .295, came into this game hitting .295 as a left-handed hitter. All 3 of his home runs from this side of the plate.
He's got some pop with the 3 home runs, but he's leading the league with 6 triples. Now Lamar coming in, he catches that line drive. 2 down. Now let's go to Marty Gelner.
I was talking to Ryan Lamar before this game about things like his speed, which he said is definitely not off the charts, but he sometimes will outrun a ground ball in the infield or something. He said he thinks it's because he played hockey for so long through high school that he has these big, long, strong strides. And he said even when it doesn't look like he's running that fast, he seemingly is. And then in the outfield, he said he's always measured well in those statistical analytics categories like you were talking about, Dick, his routes. He just runs efficient routes. He always ranks well in those statistical categories, and he said that's why he thinks he's always been on other teams' radars.
Dozier with a nice backhand pickup, and he throws to first. The shift pays off. Thank you, Marty. And Fernando Romero has a 1-2-3 third inning. The #1 selling brand in the Twin Cities. By Grant Casino, the best stories start here. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. 1-0 White Sox, and Adrianza is back in the box. He was at the plate when Lamar was picked off. A-Ray Adrianza, Bobby Wilson, and Brian Dozier in the third inning. Fouled back, big cut, and it's 1-1. Getting back to the weather and the problems it caused in the middle of April, the Twins had 3 straight postponements with the White Sox because of the blizzard. Popped up, and it's wide of third, might be playable for Sanchez, and he makes the play in foul territory, 1 away. And when you have a game postponed, there are basically 3 remedies to make up the game, 3 solutions. One is filling an off day, one is having a split doubleheader, and the other is having a conventional doubleheader. And the Twins and White Sox took one from each column. So they make up the 3 games with one conventional doubleheader. Later on, an off day will be filled, and then later on we'll have a split doubleheader. Here's Bobby Wilson. Busted bat and a nice fielding play by Lopez, and again the first 2 outs come very quickly on 3 pitches. 2 down. That'll bring up Dozier. Wednesday, June 20th, it's University of St. Thomas night at Target Field. A limited number of St. Thomas theme night ticket packages are available that include a game ticket and a purple and gray Twins cap. Learn more at twinsbaseball.com/St. Thomas or call 800-33-TWINS.
Let's see if Lopez walks Dozier right here. First 2 innings, he got the first 2 outs very quickly and then walked Sano in the first and Lamar in the second.
And there's strike 1. Dozier with a fly ball to right his first time up.
Eight of 9 first pitch strikes for Lopez.
And the pitch is up, 1-1.
Change up right there.
How lucky are we? What a beautiful day to be at a baseball park. 1-1. And on the outside corner, it's 1-2. Backhanded by Narvaez, and it's 2-2. Bounced to short. Hop came up for Anderson, but he stayed with it. And it's a 1-2-3 third for Lopez. And Twins baseball on Fox Sports North is brought to you by Tria Tuesdays. Tria Orthopedic Urgent Care, open 8 to 8 daily. Fans who are here, if they want to, can stick around and watch the nightcap.
Yep.
I love that as a fan. And there used to be regular or doubleheader scheduled regularly on Sunday afternoons, and then Monday was almost always a travel day. Here is Daniel Palka leading off the 4th for Chicago. Palka cracked a double.
Yeah, Polka, a lot of extra base hits that I mentioned in his first at bat. He has 31 hits for the White Sox. 15 are extra base hits.
Because he hits the ball hard, as he did in his leadoff or his 2-out double in the first inning. 10 batted balls in excess of 110 miles per hour. There's a strike. It used to be you'd say, boy, he really barreled one up, or he hits it hard a lot. And now there are metrics to measure that, how hard someone hits the baseball and how regularly they hit it hard. One of the reasons the Twins made their #1 draft pick, Trevor Larnach, out of Oregon State, is because they measured his exit velocity, albeit with an aluminum bat, but he had a very high exit velocity.
I'll tell you what, if Polk had put his bat out and faced it toward the pitcher, he looked like Jim Thome a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got that swing too.
Tapper foul, 2-2.
Remember, Jim Thome would always kind of put the barrel of the bat out in front of him and then bring it back. Polk, a big strong kid. They list him at 6'2", 220. Signed by the Diamondbacks back in 2013 out of Georgia Tech, their #3 pick.
3-2 now to the leadoff man on the 4th. Anderson and Narvaez will follow.
White Sox claimed him off waivers from the Twin organization back in November.
On the ground sharply to Dozier. Polka retired, 1 away. Opening couple rounds of the draft were yesterday. There is Trevor Larnach, 20th overall pick. And some irony here, they'll be taking on his Oregon State team, will be taking on the Gophers in the Super Regional next weekend. And it was interesting as you look at the second pick, Ryan Jeffers, a catcher, 59th overall. It's interesting, the Twins apparently have a deal in place already to sign Larnach when his college career is over with. And the hope is that'll be next Sunday. If the Gophers can beat them in the Super Regional. It's a best 2 out of 3 format.
Yeah, again, congratulations to the Gophers.
Isn't that something? Haven't advanced to where they are right now since Paul Molitor was playing for them. 2-0 to Anderson, and that got him in the ribs, and he'll go to first base. 1 on, 1 out, and let's find some more draft details from Marnie Gellner.
It's our big story today, Dick, that in yesterday's first round of the Major League Baseball draft, the Tigers had the #1 pick, and they chose right-handed pitcher Casey Mize. He's out of Auburn, 21 years old, and a lot of people believe that Mize has major league stuff right now. He's a very promising pitching prospect, drafted #1 overall by the Tigers.
Thank you, Marnie. Narvaez will bat, and there's a pitch up and away.
We've seen that from time to time from Romero, like he plunked Anderson right there. The ball will just take off. That's his 4th hit batsman already on the season.
And you mentioned the high number of wild pitches. On the outside corner, 1-1.
Good change up there.
The numbers in his last start just came from nowhere. I mean, nobody had hardly done much at all against him in his first 5 starts. And then it all kind of fell apart. Threw 52 pitches in the 15 plate appearances. Might be 2. Oh, Dozier drops it. And it was a tailor-made double play with Narvaez, the catcher, lumbering down the line, and instead still only 1 out, first and second.
Yeah, you don't see this too often right there. Tailor-made double play. Brian Dozier maybe taking his eye off the ball to flip it over to Adrianza, but right back up the middle. It'll be an error on Dozier, his 6th error of the year. Ball came up a little bit more than I think he anticipated, but Twins make their first error, and they're 29th of the season.
A guy who's tough to double up, Adam Engel. He runs really well. First and second, 1 down. Big swing and a miss. Chicago starting to hit a little bit. Got a base hit his first time up. Strike 2 called, and it's 0-2.
Fastball inside. Romero with a couple strikeouts. One in the first, one in the second. Could use one here.
To left. And Grossman retreats, setting up for a tag is Anderson. Here comes the throw to third base, and then the throw going to third allows both runners to move up, and that's a mistake by Robbie Grossman.
Yeah, you got to hit that cutoff man right there because you know, Anderson with good speed, he's tagging up. Grossman doesn't have the strongest of arms.
Just throw it to second base.
Yeah, hit the cutoff man. Even you want to hit the cutoff man right there because if that throw's going, and then Adrianza can turn around and throw it to Dozier at second because Navarez took off.
Here's Tilson with 2 runners in scoring position, and the Twins Romero trying to pitch around a couple of defensive mistakes here in the top of the 4th inning. And that should do it. Fly to short left. Grossman comes in. And the White Sox strand 2 more in scoring position. It's still 1-0. A year ago, look what Rosario has done. 35 home runs, a .561 slugging percentage, 76 extra base hits, and where he ranks in the American League with those numbers.
I'd like to put that up for the rest of this year. He's capable of doing it, believe me. This guy's a good hitter.
I mentioned during one of our spring training telecasts, just getting to know Eddie a little bit this winter on the Caravan. Went all the way up to Ely on the Caravan. I just sensed he was ready to break out if he hadn't already done that last year. And I mentioned on a telecast, I think he'll be a representative of the Twins in the All-Star game. There's strike 1, and he certainly is off to a real good start.
Well, last year played in 151 ball games, hit .290, 27 home runs, drove in 78 runs.
Check swing, and it's 1-1. I mean, just think what you were talking about earlier, I think during the pregame show. Rosario's the first Twin to have 2 3-home run games, and with all the great sluggers that the Twins have had, Killebrew, Allison, Morneau, for the longest time there were just 3 Twins who had hit 3 home runs in a game, and now it's like 1 or 2 a year doing it.
A couple did in 2016, a couple last year, and Eddie Rosario this year.
Down and in, 2-2. Rosario was retired on the first pitch he saw in the first inning. Hit a little chip shot to Charlie Tilson and left. Sano on deck.
Twins looking for their first hit off of Lopez.
And now 3-2.
Lopez making just his 26th major league start. 9 wins, 10 losses in his young career.
A high fly down the right field line. Thompson out. Abreu tracking it in foul ground, and it's Abreu making the catch. Well down the line, one away. Joe Mauer working out again today. Had a good day yesterday, and by appearances anyway, a good day today. It'll be interesting to see when he comes back. Barring any setbacks, that might be right around the corner. This is a better team with Joe Mauer in the lineup. I know that.
You know what? He did a lot more running again today as he did here on Sunday. So hopefully Joe's feeling better and better each and every day.
Breaking ball over the inside corner. And as we've said, it'll be interesting to see where he plays. Not so much where he hits in the lineup, but whether he DHs or plays first base. Fouled away. 2 strikes to Sano. We just need to get an icebreaker here. Two strikes to Miguel Sano, adjusting his pad that he wears on the left shin. There's Logan Morrison, who might be seeing more time at first base after Mauer returns, whenever that is.
I'm surprised he didn't start game 1. He's 5 for 6 against Lopez with a home run, a couple home runs and a double.
Another foul.
Opponents coming into the ball game against Lopez's first 11 starts this year, hitting only 226. That's very good. Left-handers 257, right-handers only 198. He's given up 7 home runs, only 2 to right-handed hitters.
2 strikes to Miguel Sano. Cut through a breaking ball, just got a piece of it. I don't know that Lopez wants to leave a breaking ball there.
Sometimes you get away with mistakes. I thought the Romero got away with a mistake to Engel on that slider last inning, or on the top of the inning. Now a fastball away.
Off the plate. 1-2. Half swing, but strike 3. 2 down.
And Lopez picks up his 3rd strikeout. Excuse me, 2nd strikeout.
Escobar will hit, but first, the 2018 FIFA World Cup is coming to Fox and FS1. Every match is live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event is just 9 days away, only on Fox and FS1. Here's Escobar. A lot of foul balls in his first inning at bat, and finally Escobar struck out on a fastball.
Now you mentioned Lopez. You know, over his last 4 or 5 starts, he's had 3 very good ones. 3 starts ago against the Rangers in Chicago, 8 shutout innings, allowed only 2 hits.
And another foul. Plenty of fastball there. We've seen 96, 97, and 98. From Lopez.
And keeping a pitch count very well. 18 in the first, but remember, he had 2 outs on 3 pitches. Ended up throwing 15 more pitches, and then a couple 9s.
That's one hit to the gap, and there's nobody there. That's down for the first hit. A ground rule double. I say with no surprise in my voice. Another double for Escobar.
Yeah, that's number 21 on the year. Jose Abreu came into the ball game with 21 doubles. And Escobar for the most in the American League. And Escobar tying it right there. Got a fastball away.
And just think about that, though. I mean, we're roughly a third of the way through the season at that pace. That's like 60 doubles.
Yeah.
Here is Max Kepler. Chance to drive in the tying run or maybe put the Twins in front. Down and in, ball 1.
I get Max going again. He's been struggling a little bit as of late. Just 2 hits in his last 15 at bats.
Right back to the mound. And Lopez fires to first. Escobar left at second. We head to the 5th. It's 1-0 Chicago. Pepsi fans of the game enjoying the day game, and then presumably they'll be able to hang around for the nightcap as well. You could not pull me out of the ballpark if I was here for the first game.
I think you're going to have to see a lot of these people we see here at game 1 will be here at game 2.
Remember years ago, and I think Oakland has done it since, but the Twins in the Metrodome days scheduled a doubleheader to give fans the opportunity to pay one price and see 2 games. I think we were working both games of that doubleheader. So every once in a while a team will, as a novelty, schedule one of these things. 1-1 to Trace Thompson. That one, a bullet hit to right. Kepler on the warning track, leaps and makes the catch. Nice running catch for the Twins right fielder, 1 away.
And a nice read right there by Kepler, running that ball down.
Somewhere on this beautiful day at this beautiful ballpark is Marty Gilner.
Well, I want to tell you a little bit about Fernando Romero and the rough outing that he had his last time out against Kansas City. Really the first rough outing he's had. I asked pitching coach Garvin Alston about it, and Garvin said that Romero was really humbled by that and really didn't know what hit him, and he did not understand how and why he gave up so many hits. So the two of them sat down, looked at the film from that game in Kansas City, and found that Romero was just flat across the board. His pitches were flat. His ball wasn't sinking the way it usually does, and then when guys started hitting, he tried to overcompensate. It just got worse. So Garvin said what he really wants is just for Romero to go back to being the guy that he is, the confident guy that he is. Let the game come to him, because as Alston said, Romero is so talented. That's all he really needs to do.
Yeah, thank you, Marty. Again, there's a base hit to left field.
A single for Moncada, and now Sanchez will bat.
You know, and that's where video, I think, today helps, you know, with the pitching coach, Alston, sitting down and saying, hey, you know, this is the reason why you gave up the 9 hits, you know, and all this stuff. But again, you're going to go through that. I like what Romero did, even though he gave up a base hit right there. You know, he kind of stepped off the mound, took the rosin bag, and kind of took a deep breath. Okay, let's get back into the strike zone. And Moncada just ended up getting a pitch and hitting it the other way.
Sinker foul. Sinker being a 2-seam fastball, 1 strike.
And that's usually, if you can keep it down in the zone, you might get a double play.
Romero tried to get one of those in the 4th inning, but there was an error behind him. Had to throw a few more pitches, but got out of the jam without the error and the misplay, misdirected throw by Grossman. Neither hurt the Twins in the 4th.
Moncada at first base, 6 stolen bases in 7 attempts.
It's apparent that the White Sox are rebuilding with youth, speed, athleticism. Pretty good model to follow. Don't know really where Jose Abreu fits into that. He's a little longer in the tooth, doesn't run particularly well, but he
can hit.
He can hit. 1-1, and now hack foul toward the Chicago dugout. Rattles around our camera well near the Chicago on deck circle, and we haven't heard any yelps of pain, so we assume everybody's okay. One and 2 to Yolmer Sanchez. The hit by Moncada, Chicago's 4th. He has 2 of them. Only one that's mattered to this point is the leadoff home run. Outside, and it's 2-2.
Well, you want something to happen here because Moncada at first base on a 3-2 pitch, he would be taken off.
And he goes on 2-2, swung on and missed, high throw, and a strikeout and a stolen base. Better throw by Wilson than they might have had. Moncada trying to steal.
Yeah, good breaking ball right there. Gets Sanchez to swing over it. But Moncada got a pretty good jump. The high throw. No chance. Moncada ends up stealing a base, his 7th of the year in 8 attempts.
White Sox got their run on the home run by Moncada. Since then, they've advanced 5 runners into scoring position. The first 4 have been left there. And now Romero will try to get Abreu and keep this a 1-0 game. Fastball at the knees. Missed inside. 1-1.
Abreu, 31 years old now, out of Cuba, signed by the White Sox back in 2013 in his 5th season with the White Sox. Career 300 hitter coming into this year. A lot of power.
That's hit to the gap in left center. Down for a hit. And it'll double the Chicago lead on a double by Abreu. And Moncada scores from second. It's 2-0.
Abreu 22nd double, he said. So, you know, he said, where's Escobar? Saying to Escobar, see, you hit a double, I hit a double. So, driving in his 33rd run, went down and got that breaking ball and found that gap out in left center. Yeah, this guy stays back well, very strong. Hit that ball a long way.
When we were in Chicago, we were relaying Rick Renteria's comments about Abreu, who seems to be getting trimmer every time we see him, and he's bought into better conditioning, and the numbers have been very solid, and he just delivered a solid double to make it a 2-0 ball game. Here's Palka, fouled back. Twins acquired Palka a few years ago for catcher utility man Chris Herman, who the Twins saw when we were in Seattle. 1-1. Popped up and shading his eyes is Adrianza, and that will end the inning. But the White Sox get a couple of hits and another run, and it's 2-0. In an area that might get a foul ball, and then who knows, you might get a chance to play catch here at Target Field. It's a fun, family-friendly event following the Twins game against the Angels on Saturday. You can purchase your Catch on the Field tickets today at twinsbaseball.com/catchfield. Got another one coming up in July. Beautiful day here, but the White Sox carry a 2-0 lead to the bottom of the 5th. Robbie Grossman will lead things off. Grossman grounded out to Abreu, his first time up. Another first pitch strike.
Yeah, 12 of 15 so far for Lopez.
Grossman, Lamar, and Adrianza. And then he chases, which is something he doesn't do very often, and it's 0-2. Pitch up, fouled back. Really only 2 poor starts for Lopez. This one popped up, playable on the left side for Sanchez. And he makes the catch one away. He had a start in the middle of May against Pittsburgh, 2 innings, 6 earned runs, but it was his second start in as many starts against the Pirates, and he shut him down the first time, and then they pounded him the second time. And his most recent start was also a rough one, 2 2/3 innings, 8 runs, 7 earned against the Indians, but we know the Indians lineup was on fire coming into Minnesota this past weekend. Pitches up to Lamar, ball 1. Lamar drew a walk and was picked off on a pickoff move that Paul Molitor thought was a balk. You thought it was a balk.
It was a balk.
1-1 to Ryan Lamar. And now 2-1.
Well, he's put some good fastballs in good locations. Couple strikeouts for Lopez, a couple walks. Both walks coming in the first and second inning. He's only given up one hit, the double to Escobar.
2-2 to Ryan Lamar. Inside, 3-2. Fouled away.
Ryan, 29 years old, originally signed by the Cincinnati Reds back in 2010. Their second number 2 pick by the University of Michigan.
And he's drawn his second walk against Lopez, and that'll get Adrianza to the plate.
And a third walk for Lopez.
Number 8 batter, Adrianza on board, and Lamar reaching first base again, reflecting on his second inning pickoff.
Sean Barber, a sub ump at first base. Now, I'm sure Jeff Smith, the first base coach, said, watch his left foot, or left knee, if he does throw over.
Big leg kick, and Adrianza takes another first pitch strike.
Good changeup right there.
It's one thing to throw first pitch strikes, but when you're doing it with your full arsenal of pitches. Popped up center field, easy play for Engel. He's got to make an adjustment because the wind is blowing in, and that ball was hit very tall. 2 down, and now Bobby Wilson.
Yeah, you said that Lopez, that first pitch to Adrianza, was a high leg kick, and then he went with the slide step on that last one. So a couple different moves toward home plate.
Wilson hit a comebacker to the mound his first time up. And more chatter, and now they call the balk. And a little look into the Twins dugout, and now here comes Rick Renteria.
I think it was Brian Nora, the home plate umpire, that called the balk.
Yep. And but go back to Lamar's pickoff in the second for the third out. Paul Molitor doesn't normally get too animated, but he was very forceful in his critique of no balk being called. And so on the first, as Wilson steps in, a quick throw over to first.
Well, take a look again. Watch, see he did the same thing when Lamar was on first base in the second inning. It's deceiving the runner, and that is a balk.
And now Wilson with another comebacker, and Lamar will be left at second. On to the 6th inning. It's 2-0 Chicago. For a little excitement, head to foxsportsnorth.com, submit a photo and message for the opportunity to be featured in the Minnesota Lottery Winner's Circle during our broadcast and receive $100 in scratch tickets with the Minnesota Lottery. Every day is game day. Tim Anderson will lead things off in the 6th against Fernando Romero, who's done fine. He's given up an average of 1 hit per inning. He's stranded 5 runners in scoring position and given up a couple of runs. And a first pitch strike on a breaking ball. Way out in front, and it's 0-2.
Good slider right there. Anderson just 24 years old, so another guy they're trying to build around. He was a #1 pick by the White Sox in 2013 out of high school, Community College out of Decanter, Mississippi.
And now a high fastball strikes him out, 1 away.
And strikeout number 4. So on 3 pitches, Romero picks up his 4th strikeout. Couple sliders. You can see Wilson wanted that pitch exactly where Romero threw it with that high glove. Give me that high fastball.
Narvaez will bat. He's 0 for 2. Reached on a Dozier error his last time up. One away, ball 1. Twins start the day 5 games below the 500 mark. A good day here today, and by my count they'd be just 3. 2 down. That'll bring up Adam Engel. The 2018 Camping World MLB All-Star Ballot is now open and exclusively online. You can make sure your favorite Twins are represented on this year's team by voting at twinsbaseball.com/vote. Catch all the excitement of the 89th MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard July 17th live on Fox. Have you ever voted for the All-Star Game? You know, you played in a couple of them, but I mean, have you ever filled out a ballot? Back in the day they had a paper ballot. Now it's all online.
No, actually, no.
Okay. If you were to fill one out, would you fill one out heavy on Twins, or would you think, well, no, this guy's the best shortstop in my opinion, this guy's the best first baseman?
Today I would do that. As a kid, I'd probably, growing up watching the Angels, I'd vote for all the Angels.
Swing and a miss, 1 and 2.
And the Dodgers. So how about you as a kid?
But see, as a kid I probably would have filled out Bob Allison, even if he was on the disabled list all year. But as an adult, I mean, we get a chance to vote for monthly awards and things like that, but I try to do a representative job and a good job, not being too parochial to one particular team. Remember a few years ago the Royals won the World Series and there was such a big push in Kansas City and the surrounding area, they almost ran the table. They almost had Omar Infante as a starting second baseman in the American League. 2 and 2. But I think that would be the fun part of voting is, Correa, Lindor, Machado, which shortstop are you going to pick? Well, I'm going to pick Lindor and then see if he ends up with the most votes.
Tell you what, Simmons in Anaheim's having a very good year too. Yeah, that's tough.
2 and 2. And that ball hit to the left field corner. Rosario chasing, or Grossman rather. He'll field the second hop and hold Engel to a single. Surprised Engel didn't try for second with 2 out.
Engel picks up his second hit. Not a bad pitch, a slider, but credit Engel. He just went down and kind of hooked that ball. They were shading Engel a little bit toward right center. Grossman was. Not a bad pitch. You see Engel just reaching out and pulling that ball. 1 hopping Grossman. 2 hops and gets it back in quickly.
And now Tilson with an eye being attention being paid to Engel at first. A big lead and a lean towards second, and now a little flare that lands in the dirt of the infield, and Grossman has got to watch out here. He hit the cutoff man, which was a good thing to do. Just what you were talking about before. Completely different throw, but if Grossman had thrown the ball to second base, there was a chance Engel would have been waved around third to score.
A high fastball right there, kind of an inside out swing, but a little quailed in the left field, and Engel and his speed gets to third easily.
Now you say a quail, and that's a quaint old term, but it was meant as a dying quail, like one that got shot out of the air and just kind of flopped to the ground.
I wanted to say something else.
I know that, and you used to.
He used to do with a duck, but I can't say that anymore.
That French word?
Yeah.
First and third, 2 down, and now Thompson.
There's 2 outs right here. This is a big out.
Hold back. And the White Sox have already left 5 men on in scoring position this afternoon. Romero trying to leave Engel at third. .91 pitches for Romero.
Big out right here. You want to leave it at a 2-0 deficit.
1-1.
Now we got number 42 warming up in the bullpen. I believe that's Tyler Duffy.
You know, it's extended to the Bat Boys. The Bat Boys are wearing, they don't wear numbers, and they're still wearing number 42.
Well, in honor of Mr. Robinson.
High fly, center field.
Love those sacrifice flies with 2 outs.
The White Sox lead it 2-0, but they have had plenty of opportunity for more. On this day, a couple months later, we honor Jackie Robinson. Time for the Twins to try to figure out Ronaldo Lopez. Maybe the 3rd time through the lineup will help them in that regard. Dozier, Rosario, Sano in a 2-0 game. Twins have 1 hit. They've taken 3 walks. And Dozier with a fly ball to right and a ground ball to short will lead it off, and he takes up ball 1. A rare non-first pitch strike from Ronaldo Lopez. Two and 0. Hey, up and in at 94, 3-0. The base runners the Twins have had have all come with at least 1 out in an inning. They've not had a leadoff batter aboard. Dozier doesn't want to get hit by the pitch, but he'll take a walk.
Almost has to take a pitch right here. Twins need base runners.
And on the outside corner, 3-1. Rosario on deck, then Sano. That's remarkable that he's so much better the third time through the order than the second. And that's ball 4. And Dozier will go to first. And that'll bring Rosario to the plate as the tying run.
Rallies usually start with a walk.
And Rosario among the hottest hitters through the month of May, and now over the last 9 games, an incredible surge, both in terms of batting average and power. Trying to keep his hitting streak alive here. Checked his swing, or did he? Ball 1.
Yeah, Lopez started him off with a changeup.
Ooh. That looks like a strike to me. 1-0. And now 2-0. And here comes Abreu in to talk to his pitcher. And here comes Narvaez, and pretty soon they'll all be there.
First mound visit for either team. I think he tried a couple change-ups right there to Rosario. The pitching coach for the White Sox, Don Cooper, former Twins player.
Duffy continues to warm up, and Trevor Hildenberger warming up from behind the mound to get loose. (2-0) to Rosario. Big swing and a miss.
Alston right there talking to Romero. His afternoon is probably done. 93 pitches in the 6 innings.
Hard to quarrel with 2 runs over 6 innings. And now 3-1 with Sano on deck. Rosario ran the count deep in the 4th inning before fouling out.
A tough guy to walk right here too. Rosario has actually walked only 12 times, and he has 13 home runs.
3 of those walks have been intentional walks. 3-1. There goes Dozier, and the pitch popped up. And Dozier's going to have to retreat. It's a foul ball. And that's the first out.
Rosario probably going after ball 4, but don't tell him that. He gets those balls out of the ballpark. This one he popped up. On a 3-1 fastball, just middle in, and he got underneath it at 96 miles an hour.
And now Sano with a man at first and 1 out.
Need Lopez to hang a slider. Oh, there's a slider, but Sano swung through it.
A walk and a strikeout so far for Sano. There goes Dozier. Swung on and missed. And Dozier is in with a stolen base. Check swing on Sano. It's 0-2, but Dozier steals his first bag in quite some time.
Yeah, he's number 3 on the year and 5 attempts for Brian Dozier. Got a good jump right there. And he gets into scoring position.
You see how close that is. Great job by Brian keeping contact with the base, but almost overslid. 2 strikes to Sano. Up and in. Dozier in scoring position for Sano. 29 games played, 24 runs batted in. Bounced foul. Strikeouts, of course, are too numerous, but really good run batted in per game rate. Twins lineup hasn't clicked yet, but Dozier has scored 36 runs. Up and away, 2-2 in the first inning plate appearance. Lopez got ahead of Sano 0-2 and then walked him. Need to break through here in the sixth. This guy's been pitching them tough. And foul. Sox outfield playing Sano straight away because he has shown a little more willingness to use the whole field in 2018. And there's ball 3.
This at bat so far, Lopez has been able to get that breaking ball over 3 times. See if he goes with another breaking ball right here that Sano fouled off.
Full count. Escobar on deck.
He's missed with the fastball. Another
breaking ball got him.
Yep.
2 down.
So he toyed with the aggressiveness of Sano right there, trying to, maybe tie the game. See the breaking ball that Sano missed for the second time he struck out. And only the 3rd strikeout for Lopez.
Escobar has the only Twins hit against Lopez. He drove a double to the gap in left center field. Inside, ball 1. You saw the pitch count. There would be no pitch count reason to take Lopez out of the game after the 6th inning. Trying to take advantage of the leadoff walk and the Dozier stolen base. Big cut and a foul. 1-1. Romero's day is done. Much better outing than the one in Kansas City, to be sure. Fouled away. And it really complicates things. You never would want to have an outing like his one in Kansas City, but in the first game of a doubleheader, it could really cripple your team to only get 5 outs as a starting pitcher. And he ended up getting 18 of them. Luis Avalon warming up. Kepler on deck. 1-2. If Escobar can cut the Chicago lead in half.
See if Lopez can throw that breaking ball down where Escobar likes it.
Checked his swing. I don't think he checked. And Escobar again on a high fastball has gone on strikes. Dozier left at second, heading to the 7th. It's still 2-0 Chicago.
Moncada hitting the home run, first hitter of the ballgame, made it a quick 1-0 lead. Then the White Sox added another run in the 5th inning. But Lopez has been outstanding. 6 innings, only 1 hit allowed, even though he's walked 4.
Everybody can have a bad start. Romero certainly had one of those. What you don't want to see is one bad start after another, and that didn't happen for Romero. He had a good start here today.
Yes, he did. And you know, the talked about how will Romero respond. He responded very nicely.
1, 2, 3 innings are nice. He had one of those, but particularly impressive how he pitched well with men on base, particularly in scoring position, to keep this game within reach. And now Tyler Duffy will pitch in the 7th.
Tyler making his 6th relief appearance.
One and one. Moncada, who homered to start the game. Then he singled with 1 out in the 5th and scored the other Chicago run. And then it'll be Sanchez and Abreu. Missing inside, 2-1.
Yeah, Duffy worked a couple times in that Cleveland series. Total of 3 innings, just allowed a couple hits, no runs, with 1 strikeout.
On the ground, hit right to Dozier. 1 away. That'll bring up Sanchez. Join the Twins season ticket holder family today to get the best seats at the best price and be instantly enrolled in the Sweet Spot Benefits and Rewards program. Benefits include a 10% discount on food, beverage, and merchandise, early entry on select dates to watch Twins batting practice, and many more. Visit twinsbaseball.com/season tickets to learn more. Yolmer Sanchez with a ground out, line out, and strikeout. Duffy might be able to give the Twins something that they really haven't had. In fact, they might have 2 guys now who can serve in a long relief role. Matt McGill the other, and Dozier has a go off his glove and into center field for a base hit. A 1-out single in the 7th.
Yeah, when Duffy was recalled back in, or excuse me, when he was recalled, 2 innings is the most he's gone. But prior to that, Duffy's a guy that can go 3 innings or more.
Yeah, went 3 innings here in late April against the Reds. Abreu the batter. Abreu doubled in the 2nd Chicago run in the 5th inning. And down the middle, a strike. There's something there that the Twins are still intrigued with regarding Tyler Duffy. His roles have changed over the years, but this was a guy who gave the Twins 10 really good starts. Well, 9 really good starts. He had a rough one at the Rogers Center in that first start, but in 2015 down the stretch he might have been one of the better pitchers in the American League in August and September. Went 5-1, 10 good starts, an ERA of just over 3. A fly down the right field line and back into the seat.
He's one of these guys that just keeps teasing you. You know, like you said, a couple of years ago he pitched well, or when he first came up in 2015, and then 2016 they put him in the starting rotation, and that just didn't pan out.
Something has happened, you know, in the minor leagues, and in that first year in 2015 he rarely gave up a home run ball, but the last couple of years he's given up quite a few. 1 and 2. Fouled back. He had pitched prior to his call-up 138 in the 3rd innings and given up 1 home run in the minor leagues, and then only 4 in the 58 he pitched up here. 2 of those in the first couple innings in Toronto.
Yeah, welcome to the big leagues, son.
1 and 2.
Such a difference between AAA and the big leagues. You don't have that from single A to double A, say, or double A to triple A, but boy, that jump from AAA to the big leagues is like 4 times tougher. Great in the minor leagues. You can see his numbers. He was pitching well in Rochester when he got the call up. Second stint with the Twins this year.
1-2 to Abreu. Keeps fouling pitches off. There's one put in play to center. And Lamar trots in. Now really trots in and has to make a catch about knee high. And Sano's able to block the throw. The wind isn't howling by any means, but it's the second time we've seen a ball really get pushed in toward the infield out in the outfield.
That was a good pitch to Abreu right there, because you really tied him up, and all he could do was just kind of fight it off towards center fielder Lamar. He stopped and hesitated a second, but able to get it for the second out.
Daniel Palka. White Sox claim Palka on waivers. Twins are looking at their current outfield, and the likes of well, Lamar really wasn't in the picture, but Zach Granite was, who hit 350 whatever it was in AAA last year, and decided to try to get Palka through waivers. But the White Sox paid attention, picked him up. They're rebuilding, and he'll have a chance in Chicago that he almost certainly wouldn't have had in Minnesota.
I started the season down in AAA Charlotte, the AAA affiliate for the White Sox, and called up on the 24th of April. We'll let this young man get some at bats up here and see how he fares.
Down and in a ball, 1-1.
Duffy signing with the Twins out of Rice University in 2012, their number 5 pick in that draft.
He was their closer for the Owls. Down and in again, 2-1. To Daniel Palka, tap foul, 2-2.
It's not an overpowering fastball that Duffy has, so he has to really make sure he hits his spots. I like his curveball over a slider, occasional changeup. Why? Because a slider goes more east-west. You leave that baby up, it can hit a long way. Curveball, when you're on top of it, goes more north-south.
Up and away, full count. And with 2 down, Sanchez will take off from first. Saw James Shields doing his Fernando Rodney imitation. Rodney doesn't do it quite that much.
See if they go back to that curveball right here.
3-2. Runner goes, and the pitch fouled back.
Yeah, he was ready on that fastball.
Nineteenth pitch of the inning for Tyler Duffy.
There's a curveball.
Curveball got him.
Good pitch.
Another runner left on base. Max Kepler will try to get the Twins started in the right direction into the run column, leading off the 7th. double. And that's it.
This is a team that was swinging the bat well, too. So
Yeah.
you don't know. It's a funny game.
But the guy on the mound has been pretty good, and he will start at least the 7th inning. Kepler, Grossman, and Lamar lined up to face Lopez, who's given up just that one hit. He has issued 4 walks. And a strike. Now the shadows, of course, because this is now drifting into the late afternoon. The shadows become a bit of an advantage for the pitcher. A high pop-up. And Abreu will track this one.
Go foul.
And it is fouled by about 10 feet. It's fouled by more than that. It's out of play by about 10 feet. 2 strikes to Kepler.
And this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins, LLC.
Kepler hit a bullet his first time up, lining up to Sanchez, then a weak comebacker his second time up. Been very little solid contact. You could look at Escobar's double, of course, and Kepler's line out. That's really about it.
5 ground ball outs, 8 fly ball outs to go with the strikeout.
This one hit well to right center field. Heading back to the wall, and it's short of the wall, short of the warning track, in fact. Caught by Thompson, one away.
Yeah, I like what Thompson did right there because it looked like Engel had a tough time picking that ball up. And of course, with that sun doing some damage right there, I think to Engel, it was Thompson who kind of called him off, said, I've got it because the sun's not in my eyes. They kind of fist pumped each other after that catch. Like, thank you.
Now here's Robbie Grossman. Breaking ball, strike one. Boy, he's been good.
17 of 24 first pitch strikes.
And now outside, 1-1. Foul back.
You know, one thing I have noticed over the years with Don Cooper being the pitching coach, he'll let that starter go a little bit deeper, maybe give me another inning or 2. 96 pitches.
Well, he had such a short start his last time out against the Indians. That squirted foul. Gene Glenn will pick it up.
107 pitches are the most that Lopez has needed in a start, and that was that 8 shutout inning performance he had against the Rangers. So keeping that pitch count down well. 22 is the most he's needed last inning.
1-2. And a pitch up high. Twins need a bloop and a blast. In that order. Lamar on deck. And now 3-2. To center, retreating his angle, and he's there for the catch. 2 down, and that'll bring up Lamar with the bases empty and 2 down. When you combine the most provocative man in sports with the most interesting man in sports, these are subjective opinions, of course. You get opinion that cuts through the hype. You can catch Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock weekdays at 4 p.m. Central, only on FS1. 2 down in the 7th, and now Ryan Lamar. He's walked twice against Lopez. Popped up, back and out of play. Oh, 2.
Lopez came into this ballgame in 11 starts, only 1 win. He's doing a lot what Kyle Gibson has done for the Twins. He's pitched well, but has nothing to show for it.
Avalon the lefty, Jones the righty, and Lopez ahead 0-2. Jeez.
He's been effectively wild too. Remember earlier in the ball game, he threw one up and into Brian Dozier. He's pitched even better at home than on the road. 0-3 on the road. Looking for his first road win this year.
Pulled foul. Changeup hung and hammered.
I made 5 starts in Chicago. Very good 1.85 ERA. Came into this ball game in 6 starts on the road. 0-3 with a 6.
1-2 to Ryan Lamar. And that one bounces past the catcher Narvaez. 2-2. 105 pitches now thrown by Lopez. There's one hit to left, and making the catch is Tilson. 3 outfield flies and a 1-2-3-7. Very commendable that the staff got involved to the degree that they did, so we will commend them for that.
Yes.
1-0 to Tim Anderson leading off the top of the 8th inning. And a foul back. Nice catch made by someone up above us. 1-1. Anderson, Narvaez, and Angle in the 8th inning. Tyler Duffy gave up a 1-out single. Now he gets ahead 1-2.
Well, one thing you get when Anderson's up there, a guy that goes up there swinging. He doesn't walk much. 17 times for Anderson and over 200 plate appearances.
Anderson 0 for 2. He's hit by a pitch in the 4th. Narvaez will hit next. And a foul tip. Wilson hangs on.
And Duffy picks up his 2nd strikeout. Anderson goes down on strikes for the 2nd time. Take a look at this breaking ball right here. Fastball down. That's some movement. Good pitch.
Replay brought to you by Carrier. Narvaez with an 0 for 3 day reached on a Brian Dozier error in the 4th. As littered as the base paths have been with White Sox players here through 7 innings, you'd like to think that their inability to open this game up would come back to bite them a little bit. The Twins can't seem to get anything generated. Well, they couldn't against Lopez. We'll see what they can do, if anything, against the bullpen. 1-1.
It looks like Nate Jones warming up in the bullpen.
Drifts outside, 2-1. Soria and Jones each lead the team with 4 saves. Might be Jones getting the 8th and Soria the 9th. Fouled back. Really isn't much of a consideration that this is a conventional doubleheader instead of a split doubleheader in terms of using relievers in both games. Paul Molitor addressed that, said he would meet with Garvin Alston and Eddie Guardado and try to come up with pitchers that they all felt could be pitching in both ball games. A little flip from Dozier to Mauer, out number 2. And now Engel with 2 hits in the ball game.
So I think it's important what Duffy's doing. Yeah, you gave up a base hit last inning, but he faced only 4 batters, and he's retired the first 2 here this inning.
And pitching, Twins hope 2 full innings. That would almost certainly eliminate Duffy from consideration in the nightcap. Wasn't that long ago Brian Dunsing not only pitched both ends of a doubleheader, but he got the win in both games of a doubleheader. And there was Wilbur Wood of the White Sox, who started and finished both games of a doubleheader. The knuckleballer. Didn't he go 20 and 20 one year? Didn't he win 20 and lose 20?
Yeah, something like that. 24, 20, whatever it was. Pitched like 380 innings.
2-1. And now 2-2.
He could make that ball dance.
Well, here you are. You started all those game 1s and you had a losing record. And you went 5-1 in nightcaps.
4-1.
Or a 4. Yeah, you won 4 out of the 5 decisions.
Bad managing. I pitched that many doubleheaders. Wow.
Well, halves of doubleheaders, yeah.
Yeah.
But again, it was common for teams to have like a dozen of them scheduled. 2-2. That'll be a tough play.
Escobar, come on.
Firing it, got it. Good play. And a good inning for Duffy. He retires 6 of the 7 men he's faced. Bottom of the 8th. The Twins still being shut out by the White Sox.
Live, presented by CenturyLink, where we get you ready for game number 2. We'll look at Ronaldo Lopez and the job that he has done against the Twins this afternoon. Minnesota Bats managed just 1 hit off of Lopez. And for the White Sox, that Moncada home run is the difference in this game. I mean, it doesn't take much to be the difference in a 2-0 game when one of the teams has just 1 hit. Dick and Bert will also hear from manager Paul Molitor between the games here on Twins Live.
All right, thank you, Marnie. Here's Adrianza to start the bottom of the 8th. There's a first pitch strike from Nate Jones.
Hard-throwing Nate Jones coming in, 23rd relief appearance. He's done a good job out of the bullpen. Only 17 hits in 21 1/3 innings. 11 walks, 23 strikeouts.
Now fouled away, 0-2. Jones at 98 miles per hour, and he does that funny thing where he pulls the ball out of his glove and he shows it to the hitter and the world and everybody, and then it just comes powered at you in the upper 90s.
Also a very good curveball slider in his 7th season with the White Sox. 32 years old now.
'97, but missing 1 and 2.
Take a look what he does right here. He pulls that ball out of his glove, brings it over his head, and then strong wrists right there, pulling that ball through.
1 and 2 to Adrianza. That one hit fairly well to left, but Tilson is right there, 1 away. Somewhere between Jones, what Jones does, and what Rick Sutcliffe used to do is the typical delivery. Sutcliffe would do just the opposite. He would drop the ball down and then sweep it over the top.
You know who did that too? Don Sutton did the same thing. A lot of the guys out of the Dodger organization, when Sutton and I were teammates in Cleveland, we talked about that. They were taught to bring the ball behind them and then kind of hook it and bring it straight over the top.
Mitch Garver will hit for Bobby Wilson with 1 down in the 8th, and Twins running out of time here.
A lot of that is just a timing mechanism for Jones. He'll do that. That keeps him back. You can see how he explodes toward home plate. Jones went through the Tommy John surgery back in 2015, but he responded very nicely.
Breaking ball missing, and it's 1 and 1. Garver almost certainly will catch the second game.
Missed most of last year with some elbow issues. But when he's on, he's one of the best setup men in the game.
Over the inside corner.
There's the curveball. He's got a good curveball.
1 and 2. Trying to at least hold the lead for Lopez, if not save it altogether. Garver strikes out, 2 down.
Good fastball right there, the upper 90s. Jones picks up a strikeout.
And now Dozier with 2 gone in the 8th.
Right after Garver. See the different pitches, a sequence of pitches. A good curveball. A hard fastball.
Be curious to see as quickly as this inning has started anyway. Just 8 pitches thrown by Jones. You know, that would be one way to try to get your pitching staff through a doubleheader. Maybe let Jones pitch the 8th and the 9th inning, and if he gets the save, great. Then you still got a fresh co-closer in Soria for the nightcap.
He's always been a kind of a setup type guy.
Right.
He came into this year 7th season. 6 seasons he only had 3 saves, but this year getting the opportunity to close more ball games.
Oh, that ball came up on the third baseman, and he still had Dozier at first. If Abreu had been able to dig it out of the dirt. Sanchez had the ball come up on him. He'll be charged with an error, but he recovered nicely. And if Abreu backhands that one hopper, Dozier's still out.
I'll take a look at it in the shadows right here. That ball right, taking that short hop and came up, but Sanchez barehanding it, and then the one little hop throw over to Abreu. See that ball come up. He expected that ball to stay down. Great effort. Abreu, who's usually pretty steady over there, ball in and out of his glove.
Right guy at the plate, Rosario.
That's what I thought. Rather than there, that's a base hit right there. That was a nasty hop. To give Brian a base hit.
Really? I have to change mine. That looked like an error to me.
Well, Brian Dozier very happy that you're not the official score.
A lot of people are. I think generally I would hand out a lot more errors. Swing and a foul, 1-1. The bottom line is the inning is extended. The Twins are down by 2, and Rosario, who hit 3 home runs on Sunday, has a chance to hit one here and tie the game.
Well, you can be the official scorekeeper now at our fantasy camp too if you like to put errors down.
Are you retiring me as a player?
No, well, you
Okay.
could do it whenever you're playing. Keep score with you.
1-1 to Rosario. Outside, 2-1.
Hit a home run right here. 13 on the year for Rosario, and he's been red hot coming into this ball game. Ooh.
Got a pitch.
Yes, he did.
And Sunday afternoon he would have clobbered that for a home run, but he just got under it and fouled it straight back. Looked like he was looking for that pitch in that location.
Good fastball. At 100 miles an hour. Come on, Eddie, you can't turn on that.
And Rodney getting loose. Wouldn't think he would be used unless the Twins can tie the game here. In the dirt, 3-2. Sano on deck.
I'll see how Abreu plays it right here. 3-2. He's asking the bench, do I play behind Brian Dozier? He's going to let his pitcher know. So Brian will get a good jump here.
Three and 2 to Rosario. Ball 4 taken low. Close pitch, but now Sano will have a chance with 2 men aboard.
Boy, that's a good take right there by Rosario. We talked in his last at bat. He doesn't walk that many times. Only the 13th time this year. So the sequence of pitches. See where that last one is.
Well, it was down low. But here is Sano. A walk and 2 strikeouts. Check swing and a full swing.
Jones has allowed 2 home runs this year.
Breaking ball and strike 1.
I would imagine he's going to get another one or more breaking balls.
1-1. Sano's taking a breaking ball for a strike, and now he's taking one for a ball. Fastball down and 2-1. All of this was handed to the Twins, and Sanchez didn't field Dozier's ground ball. Dozier given credit for a base hit, but then Rosario drew a walk. And now a hitter's count to a dangerous hitter. Half swing again on a breaking ball.
Yeah, slider right there. Well, it looked like Miguel was ready to swing no matter where that pitch was.
He even started off the plate, though. Check swing got him in the 4th. The full swing got him in the 6th. And now 2-2 with 2 down in the 8th. 3-2. Escobar on deck. And the runners will go, and Rosario runs pretty well anyway. This would be a great time for a double.
Let's see if they go back to that curveball.
Full count to Miguel Sano. Driven to left towards the corner. Cut off nicely by Tilson. Rosario will be held and dives back safely. Sano drives in a run with a sharp single to left. That was a nice job by Tilson keeping that ball out of the corner.
Yeah, Tilson maybe saved the game from going, to be tied up. But Sano, as they were already playing him the pull. But Sano looked like he got a 3-2 breaking ball and hammered down that left field area. Take a look at the pitch. That slider stayed right there.
And lucky he didn't hit that into the seats.
Yep. Dozier scores. Rosario got a good jump. He's right behind Dozier, but see Gene Glenn holding him up at third.
Diving back safely, so the tying run 90 feet away. Couple of hits, sandwiching a walk after the second out. It's a 2-1 ball game, and now Escobar has 2 strikeouts and a double. Twins are going to run for Sano here. And it must be Petit running for Miguel Sano. So Sano out of this game with the Twins down a run. And Escobar will hit. One of the few hard hit balls through the afternoon by the Twins. And Rosario dancing well down the line at third. Swing and a miss, and Narvaez couldn't find the ball, and I don't know that home plate umpire Brian Honora might have kept the White Sox lead. It may have been Honora who blocked the pitch.
I see the fastball down.
Sure.
Got the shoe of Honora.
His right foot kept that from going to the backstop and kept Rosario at third. And again, we've seen this countless times. Sanchez, the third baseman, is about 30 feet off the bag, which allows Rosario to start with a 30-foot lead. And now Sanchez shortens up at third base a little bit. Up high, 1-1. He's putting together a 2-out rally here. And they need one more hit. And Rosario waves. At strike 2.
And that slider just kind of spun right there, and Escobar swung through it.
And Escobar, of course, really vulnerable to that high fastball. And struck out twice on a high fastball in the ball game.
Watch Petit maybe taking off here to see if they draw a throw to second base.
Driven foul. Now the Cleveland Indians use that play with Kipnis taking off towards second and Allen scampering home to get the only run of the game, as it turned out, that they scored on Saturday. Another 1-2 pitch coming. Runner goes and the pitch hit to center. Heading back is Engel. Still going back. He's at the wall. It's gone. It's gone. A 3-run home run for Escobar. to straightaway center field.
Mighty Mouse did it again. Got a fastball. It looked like a fly ball to center field. That ball just kept going. Home run number 11 for Eduardo Escobar, and the Twins take a 4-2 lead. A big 3-run home run.
Shut down and out for 7 2/3 innings. The Twins get 4 against Jones in the 8th. Fans got a curtain call from Escobar, or from Rosario the other day, and now they want one from Escobar. There he comes. And Jones is knocked out after picking up 2 of the quickest outs you can get. He got Adrianza and Garver very quickly, and we speculated maybe he'd be left to try to finish the ball game in the 9th, and as it turns out, he can't even get through the 8th.
Not going to happen.
Was not a walk-off home run, an awfully big one off the bat of Escobar.
Oh, that fastball right down the middle, and Escobar got great wood on it. Straightaway center, a big 3-run home run. And the Twins continue to hit home runs.
And they lead it 4-2. Max Kepler will hit against Luis Avalon. And flipped foul. 1 strike.
Avalon making his 26th relief appearance, 17 innings pitched, 19 hits, 7 walks, 1 intentional, 19 strikeouts. In his first season with the White Sox, coming over from the LA Dodgers.
Down and in, a ball. 1-1. Well, the official scorer's ruling on the Dozier ground ball means that all 4 runs scored against Jones are earned runs.
Ouch.
Off a leg.
Get out of my kid.
Cracked bat. Now they have they called that? They're calling that the 3rd out. And now the umpires all stand and stare at one another. Kepler cracked his bat, and the White Sox are coming off the field.
Ball got in deep, and
well, my goodness, it hit him.
Thigh.
It hit him off both thighs. This has got to be, someone has to have seen this. All the White Sox are off the field, or all but off the field. That's terrible that none of the 4 umpires have seen that. It's not a reviewable play. being hit by a pitch is, but Kepler fouled it off both legs.
They didn't see the balk earlier that Lopez had.
That's terrible.
Well, Twins have a 2-run lead.
And it'll be Fernando Rodney who will try to save it. Again, the Twins shut down and out for 7 2/3 innings, and then maybe they got an extra out, although the Dozier ground ball was ruled a base hit, and the Twins pounced to score 4. Charlie Tilson will lead things off in the top of the 9th against Fernando Rodney.
Oh, that number's on Rodney, making his 22nd appearance, looking for his 13th save of the season.
Tilson singled his last time up. And now when we've had situations like this, and Roy Smalley has been on our analysis crew, he has said repeatedly these are the tough situations regarding the shadows. The pitcher is in the shadow. The point of release of the ball is in the shadows, and the hitter is staring up and in an enlightened hitter's background.
I think the big thing is the rotation of the ball that hitters want to see right out of the pitcher's hand. Petit taking over for Sano at first. Garver now catching with Rodney on the mound.
And now a strike, 2-1. The Twins want more than anything else is an uneventful top of the 9th here, and then somebody's going to have to try to explain to me how in the world the umps missed Kepler's foul ball into his midsection. 2-1. Fouled away, 2-2. Again, the second game, there will be no extended delay of a couple hours or 2.5 hours. We got about a half an hour, and then boom, we're going to fire it up again with another telecast. And we'll keep you entertained and informed in between games, wrapping up this game and setting up Game 3. Now a 3-2 count to Tilson with Trace Thompson on deck.
No free passes right here. Make Tilson swing the bat.
And again, with the potential of having another save situation in the second game, you'd like Rodney to get the save and do it as efficiently as possible. That should help. Dozier down to a knee, throws to Petit, one away. Saw LaTroy Hawkins here today, and he's here as part of the brain trust during the draft. And as he would say, got to get the leading lady. One down, and now Trace Thompson. Thompson with a couple of outfield flies and a strikeout. And again, let's go back to the 6 innings pitched by Romero, giving up the 2 runs, but there were chances in just about every inning for the White Sox to score more than they did. So credit the young man for limiting damage and making his best pitches with men in scoring position.
Duffy also got out in.
Absolutely. 1-1 to Thompson. Duffy would be the pitcher of record if Rodney gets the save. On the ground, a chest high hop for Adrianza. 2 down. And we've seen more and more of this after the disastrous outing the Twins and Rodney had in New York. Not just saves, but really efficient saves. Nobody on base saves. And the fielders appreciate it. The field staff appreciates it. And I know, having been there, that the fans really appreciate 1, 2, 3 ninth innings. Moncada. Strike 1.
Good changeup right there to get ahead. Fernando with a good fastball. Outstanding changeup.
Strike 2.
Comes back with another one. Changeup with some movement on it.
Fouled away. Moncada scored both Chicago runs. Drove himself in with a leadoff home run. And Singleton came in on Abreu's double in the 5th. Oh, and 2 to Moncada. This will be pitch number 14. Now 2-2.
Airing it out right there. 96. That one at 95. Last 2 pitches. So you have them set up for that good changeup.
There was a changeup and it was flipped foul. Got him. Garver catches the foul tip. And the Twins, as they did Sunday, win this game in their last at bat with a dramatic home run.
Not a lot of hits for the Twins in today's ball game, but boy, did they save them for the 8th inning. 3 of the 4 hits, and the big blow off the bat of Eduardo Escobar, big 3-run home run.
Well, Tom Hanneman, the Twins waited and waited and waited, and finally they got the big hit they needed from Mighty Mouse.